Ark Eternal is one of the most difficult mods there is, and I'm here to answer the question, can you beat Ark Eternal in only 100 days? Let's find out. On the first day, I punched a tree. Then I crafted my first weapon, or tool, the stone hatchet. I equipped my stone hatchet so that I could farm more wood, so that I could make my stone pickaxe. Then I hit this rock. I would also need some fiber, so I began to search for some fiber. Here was some plants. I picked these plants for fiber, except they're not real plants. So then I went on the search for plants again. These were also not real plants. In order to find new plants, I figured it's time to leave this little peninsula. As shown on the map here, there are no plants, clearly indicated on the map. But wait, some plants? Nope, not plants. I swam across the water so that I could get to the plants. A close call. I was almost eaten by piranhas. Then I saw this 180 pteranodon. But I don't have any bolas, and I don't have any tranks. Because I'm only level 83. And I just... Anyways, I found some plants. I only got 12 fiber, but that should be enough. It was in fact not enough. I need more thatch. So I chopped this tree, and I got some thatch. I added my new pickaxe to my hotbar. This would be crucial for gathering more wood, but nighttime loomed over the horizon. If I was going to beat this challenge in time, I would need to make a strong base. So that was my first goal. Gather resources so that I can build a base. Then I hit this tree. Next, I hit this tree. I was getting a lot of wood, so I decided on this tree I would hit it with my pickaxe to get more thatch. I was starving to death. This could be bad. Since I was starving to death, I figured I should search for a dinosaur. So on day 2, I searched for some food. Desperate in the meantime, I ate some berries. Turns out, I ate the wrong berries. Those berries are poisonous. So now I took a nap. After a nice refreshing nap, I found this pteranodon again. Maybe I can kill it with my hatchet for some meat. The pteranodon got away. I can't fly, so there's no way I can chase it down. I did have enough food for now, so I hit this tree. I spotted some food in the distance. I swam across the dangerous waters and searched for my food, and then I found this fish. The fish was too fast, so I gave up. And here they are, fresh food. But he had a friend, and I was quite scared, so I didn't actually hit him. I crossed the dangerous waters again because there's no plants over here, and I need plants. I figured the start to every adventure should be a base. I took a shit, and then I thought about building my base, but I didn't have the wood buildings unlocked, so I unlocked the wood foundation. I unlocked the wood ceilings. I unlocked the wood ramp. There are too many engrams in this menu, so I searched for the wood pillar. Having found the wood pillar, it was time to build my base. I figured I should start off with a foundation. Let's put it right here. Perfect. Let's start building my base. Actually, I don't want to start with a wood pillar, so I demolished it. Let's make a sickle so that I can harvest more fiber. I put the sickle on my hotbar, as it would be very useful for harvesting plants. I built as many wood pillars as I could manage. My base was gonna be spectacular, only the best base for this 100 days. On day 3, I realized I wouldn't have enough pillars to build my base, but I started anyways. I didn't like the placement of this pillar, so I picked it up. I hit all these plants for fiber. And now it was day 3. Time was running out. I need to build my base real quick like. I kept hitting plants because I need a lot of fiber to build my base. Back to my pillar, ready to make the best base possible. I noticed how beautiful the horizon was. I took a shit and pondered on the fact, my base is entirely vegan. But that wouldn't stop me. Let's place more pillars. I want to make my base have ceilings as its base. So I built as many ceilings as I could manage. A good base is always elevated off the ground. That way, when the tide comes in, you don't get borked by it. Then I realized, I don't just want my base to be all square-like. So I built some triangle ceilings. I hit this tree. You get the idea. I hit a lot of trees. I need tons of wood to build my base. I built some more triangle ceilings. My design would require triangle ceilings, but not that many triangle ceilings. It was dark, so it was hard to see my base, but that's fine. I persevered and started building my base anyways. Looking up at the sky, I noticed how fast the stars were moving. I was going to run out of time if I wasn't careful. Day 4 started, and I was still building my base. It was coming along swimmingly. The most important thing about building a base is symmetry, so I pondered upon the symmetry of my base. I ran out of triangle ceilings. I needed more wood, so I went to this tree, and I hit it. Having nearly eradicated the local plant life, I thought maybe it's time to go back and start building my base. On day 4, right? Day 4? No, day 5. I continued to build my base. Putting down ramps in ASE is quite hard. Aligning things is very difficult to get it the way you want it. I built a pickup gun because you can't pick things up in this version of Ark, which is quite the shame. I mercilessly murdered the ceilings so that I could continue to build my base. I was getting quite frustrated because the ramp would align anyway but the way I wanted it to. Only I did manage to make it align the proper way, and that was wonderful. So I used the pickup gun to pick up my scaffolding and accidentally destroyed my ramp. Then I realized these foundations would not help me build my base, because ramps only go down when you build them. Isn't that neat? I figured to myself, it doesn't have to be perfect. So I continued on my design without building my base the way I exactly wanted it. I would need a way up so that I could continue to build my base, so I put one of my useless ramps over here. Perfect. I was on my base. I was going to need a lot of walls, so I built a lot of walls. On day 7, I continued to build my base. I found this dead tree on the ground. I put it out of its misery. Oftentimes, when building in Survival Evolved, you either need to crouch or straight up look at the ground. Isn't that great? Having run out of wooden walls, it was time to build more wooden walls. So I built 30 of them. Isn't it pretty how fast the moon falls from the sky? Somebody should really do something about that. Looks dangerous. On day 8, I went to gather more wood for my base. Having gathered tons of wood, I figured I'll probably need more fiber. I heard an explosion in the distance. That was quite scary. I needed to hurry up and finish my base so I had somewhere safe to go. On day 9, I continued to build my base. It wasn't perfect, but I figured this is good enough. It'll get the point across. On day 10, I continued to build my base. I needed some scaffolding, so I built some ramps. And now I needed a lot of walls, so I built 40 of them. I was getting some drops, which was quite scary, because that means things were spawning near my base. I need to be quite careful. I don't have a bed, so I could die at any moment. And now the hard part, a roof for my base. I needed some pillars so I could reach the roof. I did have 4. That might be enough. It was, in fact, not enough. That should do the trick. On the night and beginning of day 12, I was starving to death, so I ate some berries. I decided that was good enough, so let's go outside and have a look at my base. And that's how I beat Ark Eternal in only 12 days. Because really, what does it mean to beat Ark Eternal? What does it mean to beat Ark at all? Well, this game is only what you make of it. So, good enough for me. I built my base.